Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to my review of the Kobeha Graphilo. This is an A5 Slim notebook. I have been writing with this since February, I think it was February 20th, so about 3 months, a little over 3 months, and this is an amazing notebook. So I wanted to come on and do a review, and what we're going to do, we'll look at the notebook. I've left some pages that I could write in, for you, but I've journaled in it almost to the end of it. So we are going to actually write in it too, but I'll show you some of the things I already did in it to show you. And then we'll compare it with a couple of other notebooks. One CVS caliber and one 68 GSM Tomoe River. And then I'll tell you what I like and I don't like. And just in case I, would forget things, I do have a report card paper, same way I do my pen reviews. So hopefully that'll help a little bit. I'd like to remember several points because this is a notebook, not to be missed if it's in your budget. It was gifted to me by a pen friend and viewer, MS, and I thank you very much. This has been it's been the best writing experience I've ever had in a notebook. So Coco's coming up behind me. Then I'm also going to show you the next notebook, which is going to be really hard. It's like a performer trying to, come up after a really good performer. How is another notebook going to compare to this? I don't know, but we're going to find out. And then we'll go and just chat a little bit more about it in the library. So the first part of the notebook I won't open up, but let's just dive right in. So this being an A5 Slim, this is a A5 regular, so this is a Leuchtturm bullet journal. It's like 1 inch narrower. That's what we're really talking about. And so this is a soft cover, relatively soft cover. But I did notice that, and that'll come up again later in the review, but I did notice the missing inch because I'm so used to writing with a variety of different A5 notebooks. But the paper in this is just so amazing that it didn't overshadow the experience. So the back is this regular color, and then it's two-tone in the front. I put my Texas sticker that I got over at So Bonita is the name of the store. And it's not very thick. It is a lined grid, and we'll go over all those specifications because I don't want to forget anything. But I think probably for now we'll just get right into it. I've got a little placeholder where we can go. Okay, so I came in and I wrote down, with each one of my inks for June 2024, and just to try it out. And then I also left the back of this empty so we could see that we get ghosting that's just very similar to a 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. And this paper is listed as, let's see, I've got it written down here. Don't have it memorized by any means. Well, for heaven's sake, where is it? Oh, I gotta look for it. Okay, it was hiding on me. 81.4 GSM paper. Very interesting. And it feels thick, and it sounds thick. It sounds very similar to the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. We'll be making noise with that here in a minute. But so this type of ghosting where it's very light, let me hold it up for you. You can see, but you can't see all the words really. It's just there, and it's nice and thick paper anyway. It doesn't bother me at all. What I really like is you can see the shading on the inks. Look at that, Sailor Grenade. That's just amazing. And even the J. Herbin, this shimmer ink, it looks really pretty on here. Not that I'm picking up just tons of the shimmer right here in our lighting, but the shading is fantastic. And we're going to have another chance to look at some ink splats in a little bit here because I couldn't help myself. Okay, and then this, I guess this is the back of some of my continuing journaling. And that goes, with anything you write with, but not enough to bother me, like I said. Okay, so then we're back over here. All right, so I wanted to kind of, well, we're going to look at the other notebooks side by side, but since I already got here, I might as well show you. I did take the Lamy Dark Lilac, and I splatted it in exactly the same way on this notebook and two others. And I noticed that there's just no seepage. You have some shadowing or ghosting, whatever you want to call it. But that is incredible. And that is just incredible. So let's see, where did I leave to write? Well, we can write here. We can write here. This was journaling. I'm a little bit of a mess in this notebook. I'm kind of sad because I'm just within just pages of finishing. You know, like I think I counted 6 pages. So in the back, I have some notes, and then I have pen test, which I gotta keep in the frame here, which I love to do on all of them. But I experienced 0 feathering, 0, no bleed through whatsoever. And what else was I gonna say? I just didn't have any trouble at all with this, and I'm using quite a few broad nibs. I even was using Diamine Writer's Blood in a medium that writes like a broad, because I opened that nib right up. It's a number 8 nib. So that's a real juicy nib. But let's write in here, because I think that would be fun. In fact, I got the pen that I had to start out with anyway is the Jinhao 9019 with number 8, gosh, I'm just clogged in the brain here. Number 8, a medium nib. And I guess it's because there's so much I want to say. But, you know, we'll be grateful for that report card, because then I can pretty much everything I wanted, is written there. Here comes the cat again. Well, Coco now has my office chair, and that usually is enough for him. He'll be my buddy, my wingman, and just be right next to me. So today is the 31st. And it's Friday. I did that part. That's not. It's Friday. Everything I've written, every pen I've used on this paper, it's been a super smooth and nice experience. It seems like it makes the experience better. Like this is a fine nib, a Moonman fine nib, which is totally smooth and everything. There, okay. Let's see. Time. I always put the time on my entries. It is 11:07 a.m. I can hear thunder in the background. So let's just write a little bit. And maybe I want to put you a little closer so you can see better. It's so smooth. The paper is smooth, but it's not like... It's really hard for me to compare it to anything except for 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. To be honest, I've never written on anything I liked as much. Okay, so I'm just going to write. Paper. Wow. I don't think that writing and talking is going to be my thing. I think, too, with paper, you have to feel it. So I wonder sometimes if paper writing samples are, you know, necessarily needed, but then I'm trying to cover all the bases, and I haven't done a notebook review in a very long time. So this one being the first one, we'll see how it goes. Might have to change things a little. Okay, so this is the Moonman Mini with a fine nib, a stock Jinhao, and a cartridge. And right away I noticed, you know, it's so crisp, it's better. It's certainly not like writing on index card. Well, that'd be a crappy, you know, comparison anyway, because unless it was a really super high quality one. But it just really kind of immediately, you feel the difference. So that's where I'm going to try to find the descriptive words. I just don't know. It's, to me, it's not, I wouldn't describe it as toothy, the paper. And yet it's not completely super slick either. Boy, I'm not getting it, am I? Anyway, every pen that I've tried on this paper, I've just loved it. And, you know, it was so funny because I was fighting with myself about, you know, not destroying, but using these pages, and I will come back in and journal around everything, every last square inch before I give up on the notebook. And of course, we've got our splats there, and we've got, you know, show through or ghosting, but nothing. Oh, I did have, maybe I needed to leave my blotter page in longer. So I've made this side colorful with the Lamy Dark Lilac 2016 as well. So let's go ahead, and I really did want to compare it with what I use all the time, which is the Bond Travel Gear Tomoe River Paper 68 GSM. Let's see, what I'm going to try to, oh, whoa, did I go... I went smaller than normal. I went crazy. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, but let's open this up, and I've got it ready. So I did the same thing in this notebook so that we could compare things, and made a couple of interesting findings when I did this. I know I did the splats the same way with the same syringe, and just splatted till there was no more ink, basically. And then I used the same Nemesine, well, it's a little dip pen with a Nemesine nib stuck into it, and dipped it. And the difference, or the really interesting part, came when I noted the difference, and of course now I've written here. Maybe that's why I left that blank. You get shadowing and ghosting, but on the Tomoe River 68 GSM with the same type of splats, you get just almost seepage. It kind of is. I mean, it's definitely beyond shadowing and ghosting, because it starts to seep through, but it just does not make its way through this. So that may be why, you know, that number there, that 81.4 GSM, that's interesting to me. And it feels, the paper feels a little thinner, 68 GSM Tomoe River, and then the Graphilo, it feels to me thicker. I mean, it's just what I can observe. And so we had our seepage on the 68 GSM Tomoe River, and then on our Graphilo, we didn't have any of that. So I had to go and pull out my CVS caliber to remind myself, well, what happens with that? I actually had to use a couple of syringes full because I wasn't getting these darker splats, and I wanted to make sure I was being fair. So on the CVS caliber, we actually got the same reaction on this as we do on 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. You get slight seepage, but you could still write on the back of this. And same over here, that would not bother me. I can write on the back of there where my splat seeped, but wow, if I was wanting to do a whole lot of, like, say I wanted to catalog a bunch of inks, then I would, I'd want to get into this paper because I could use both sides for sure. And, you know, it's pricey paper, so in the long run you might end up with, you know, skipping pages might be your best bet. So then, okay, I have another Graphilo, and it is the A5 booklet style with lined paper. And I went in and I said, okay, I couldn't satisfy by looking online whether it was the same paper. It feels like it is. But then I thought, well, let's see how the splats compare. So I got the Lamy Dark Lilac, and I splatted it on here and used the same Nemesine medium nib. And it was the same thing. There's no seepage. There's quite a bit of shadowing and ghosting. So let's see. We're going to compare. We're comparing the same brand now. And of course, I've distracted us with my writing, so that's not fair. But right here, there's 3 big splats. Let me show you. Those 3 splats are, especially that one, are good to use as comparison. So it's the same thing. It just does not seep through, and it doesn't bleed through. So whatever this is, which the little tag on this one said 64, but I can't read the rest of it. I don't know for sure. So when we get down to looking at our specs, I'll show you, you know, what I think based on what I got off of Jet Pens, where is the only place I could find this notebook. And it's not actually in stock right now, but it has been in stock. So I think those were the comparisons. And then I was just going to mention but I foolishly, or maybe just happily, wrote in all these pages, so I didn't leave myself any reviewing pages, and that I'm really going to learn from that lesson from now on. But this Odyssey notebook really does compare really well, because it's a lined notebook. It's a full size, well, yeah, it's a full size A5. It may be slightly shorter though, and that's not the case with the other, with the Leuchtturm. But yeah, it's slightly shorter, and you can tell that this Graphilo here is a A5 Slim, because you can see that the inch sticks out. But this was a really fantastic notebook too, with the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, but I couldn't do all the comparisons the same or show you in it because I wrote in it. So anyway, you know, journaled in it like a fiend and didn't leave enough space. So now I'm not sure what I've said and what I haven't said. So I think it may be time for the review paper. Let's see, what does, yeah, I said we were gonna, yeah, let's do that, because this is where I won't forget. So this is called a Kobeha Graphilo A5 Slim, and it is a line grid 7mm. It was a pen friend gift from Pen Friend MS. A5 Slim. Let's see. I made up this little thing because I only had one for pen reviewing, and I thought it'd be kind of nice to have this for the next ones I plan to talk about. Soft cover. Let's see. Let me get that. It is soft. It's not like foldable soft, but it's really rugged, and I like the rounded corners too. I really like how they did that. That's nice. Very nice. Now, it's not like that on their booklet style ones. Oh, and there was one more thing I wanted to show you inside. The way they put this together, let's see how they explained it. It's thread and glue binding, and I did find a nice sample of that if you can see it. I'm not sure. So there's the thread. There's where it's put together, and it lays super flat. It's just, it was such a joy that it would lay flat like that, I'll tell you, right from the beginning. And of course I can only go back so far, but because I have all my blabber in there. Yeah, that was where I was supposed to write. I was supposed to leave the blank behind the splats. Oops, that's my writing. I was going to leave that blank so we could continue to just see what the splats did for show through. Mercy sakes. Okay, let's see, where are we at here? So I do have all these measurements just in case it's important to you, but they're also on jet pens, 21 centimeters high, or 8 1/4 high, by 12 centimeters wide, or 4 3/4, and then the thickness is about 1/2 inch, so it's not super thick. It's a really nice notebook to take around. I've taken it a lot to doctor's appointments with Manuel and his sister and everything to journal in while I had time. Yeah, and the cover is super sturdy. It had that blotter page that was in there. It's in here somewhere. Was included. Where did I put that? Because that's not it. Oh, you never know with me. Blotter pages end up taken out and put somewhere else. Oh, it happens so fast that I can't even. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so this one, now it was just a little tad short for the page, but this came with it. So it's kind of nice when they do that. That was included. Okay. Compares well too. Yeah, I plan to do that on each notebook that I do a review on. It really, the only thing competing with it is the thicker 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, in my opinion so far. Now, I've written on Cosmo Air, Light, and Snow, and I like that paper, but I deal with hand oil problems with that, and I did not deal with any hand oil problems with this paper. I don't, and I wasn't particularly careful, because when I go into journal, I just want to get the thoughts out. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, so now, what I liked and what I didn't like. Okay, It's perfect paper. It's the best, I might as well say it, it's the best paper I've ever written on. The experience of the smoothness and the stunning way that it shows off the inks, it just is, it's going to be super memorable. I'll probably be, you know, looking in it, and of course I'm lucky to have this. This I'm going to use as it's a notebook I'll be able to get back into and show you, because it's just notes on a book, but I've just started. Well, it's not just a book, it's a IFS, Internal Family Systems, kind of a sort of a methodology, or, you know, won't go into that today, but I'm using that notebook, so I'm going to continue to have experience, and it appears to have the same paper as this notebook we're reviewing today. So I love that it opens flat and stays flat while you're writing. Super nice and easy to get it to do that. The lines are really nice and light. Let's see, go to a page, maybe one of the very few unused. They're nice and light. I don't know whether you can see them at all. Maybe if I hold it just so you could see them. But it appears that they're kind of a light gray, and so they're very non-obnoxious, which is just one of those, it's not a deal breaker for me if it's a dark line, but very nice when you can see the line, but it doesn't look ridiculous. It shows off, the paper shows off the shading and the sheen beautifully. And it does, I like that it felt thick. Not necessarily that it's, I don't need paper to be thicker than the 68 GSM, but it does feel nice. You feel confident on it. And I did then, at the last minute, jot down, inks appear slightly brighter. Okay, that's where we might want to slow down again and look at the two charts where I had June inks charted, because I'm not sure whether you're going to see it. Yeah. Oh, okay, we'll have to do it this way. So this is the Graphilo, and this is the Tomoe River. And what I was noticing, that's the pen test, Chris. Let's go back to, that's why I thought it was going to be on this side, because it is. There's a June, and I felt like even the Sailor Grenade was brighter, and I see more of the shading. And you know, I had just filled the pens. I'd not written with them much yet at all when I did this. So this is really nice. I mean, and even the TWSBI can, I will have to ask what yours, yeah, I think you can see that too. There's a slightly brighter presentation of all the inks as far as I can tell. Now this, I didn't let it dry, so I did get a little smearing. And I'm not familiar with the ink yet. It could have been the ink, or it could have been me not putting the blotter paper. I go around the house and scoop up blotter papers from all over because I forget to put them back in sometimes. But even Gravity Wave, just the stunning way that it shows the shading. So, you know, it better be stunning for the price. I don't know if we skipped over that, did we? The price that I found anyway, was jet pens, $44.20. Yeah, I conveniently skipped right over that. Another size and style at Anderson Pens. Okay, so I found these at Anderson Pens. They were like $15. So it is pricey paper, but after writing on it, I can kind of appreciate, I can really appreciate it. Especially for a project. An ink project. That's what I'm thinking of now. Something that was going to be a keepsake with inks would really be kind of nice for it. Okay, and then we did do the rest, and here we're way down here, I think. This is why I have to have these report cards. I just can't seem to remember and rein it in and remember everything that I'm going to say. So I got to make sure you can see the rest of this. So for the bottom half here. Okay. So what over on the don't like side, it's just picky, but yeah, the price, because this one notebook I got a little over 3 months for journaling anyway, but I do admit that it's worth it. Like, it would be seriously tempting. After you've written on it, just be warned. Like, you're going to like it probably a lot if you love fountain pens. I would like the inch that seemed, you know, the A5 Slim doesn't really... Yeah, I kind of prefer the A5 regular. And then I would have liked it if there was a pocket. I would have liked a pocket because I always like a pocket. There's always bits and pieces that I want to keep. I was trying to think. Nope, there's no pocket in my beloved Bond travel gear notebook. So I've you know, lived through that. There was one in the Odyssey. So the Odyssey had one, and I've got some kind of notes. Let's see. Sherry McGregor notes and realistic self-talk. Things like that that I like to keep with me. I probably should empty these all out so I could transfer some of those pocket gems that I wanted in there to the new notebook. But that's all that I could really find on the on the somewhat negative side at all. I did jot down that I got February 20th through May 31st. I probably can get finished today and maybe even tomorrow in the notebook. Depends on how much I write the rest of the day. And I got about 3.5 months. It's the smoothest paper ever. I believe that fountain pen people will really love the paper. And I just wanted to make sure I hadn't forgotten about thread and glue binding, which we looked at, really. It's held up super well. It doesn't show any signs of shifting or coming apart. Now that does happen with these. It's already happened with this one. You can see that the first signature is shifted, you know, and it looks real weavy after a while, but it hasn't fallen apart or anything. But this is quite secure in the way that it's bound. And so I really appreciate that. Okay. And we looked at that orange tab that I mentioned here. Paper is white, but not super bright white. That's something else that I forgot to slow down and mention. It is white, but it's almost on the cream side. And I'm trying to think. Let's open to a blank page of this. This is the Tomoe River paper. You know, it may be a shade brighter. Let's see, we want to make sure we're treating it with the same light. I don't know, that's pretty hard with this kind of lighting. We just had a storm roll through, scared all the cats, and it was rumbling and everything else, but it didn't amount to a whole lot. So let's go over to the library and we'll talk a little bit more about notebooks over there. There, I'm over in the library, and I just couldn't resist because I opened it to see this page again, the Lamy Dark Lilac from 2016, and I'm really glad that I did splat some in here because it'll be around longer probably than the rest of my sample will. Let's see. It's gorgeous. It's got that. It shows off the beautiful gold sheen. Well, anyway, I had it there at one point. And this has just been such a pleasure to write in. I don't even know. I hadn't really had any kind of... I've got holders that it would go in. In fact, an old black Bond Travel Gear zipper one that was for a regular A5. I put it in there when I went to one of the doctor's offices just to have it kind of enclosed with the pen in there with me. But it's just been an amazing experience. I wanted to say that doing these videos, I'm pretty sure that most any notebook I encounter, there are probably a lot of videos, reviews out there already. So in a way, this is a little bit of me trying to, you know, make myself use these wonderful notebooks, not hoard them, not save them, because, you know, this isn't really a great policy at 60 anyway, to just be saving everything. I want to use them and you know, enjoy the good quality things, but I think I wrote down scarcity consciousness. You know, I think a little bit of that seeps in, like, oh, you know, it's the only one I have, or I got to save it for something special, or are my words going to be special enough? But I'm really trying to break that habit. So the next notebook, I promised I would tell you what the next notebook is. It's this one. It's the Good Inkpressions, and it's 68 GSM cream Tomoe River paper with 7mm ruled, and it's a full A5, so it's going to be that width, the width that I'm used to. That we gain back the extra inch, and I will review this one when I get done too. I think it'll make me open it up and use it, because if I know that I'm going to be coming and I promised to talk about it. I got it at Barnes & Noble, and this one ran $26. It says on the back $26.99. It's an expensive notebook. I never ever spent this much on notebooks before I got into fountain pens, but the difference it makes to have really good paper and not have to be fussy about which ones will write on it, because my CVS caliber paper, I do have to be fussy about it. Sometimes it'll just feel too dry. So with my broad nibs, with the really flowy, juicy ink, then I can get away with that, and I do for a lot of my processing type journaling. So, but good paper just makes such a difference. And, well, this was fun. I hope, I mean, let me know in the comments, because if it's not really, you know, needed, or, you know, then I'd want to know. I'd want to have your feedback always. But I think it is a neat little project as far as, you know, making me kind of get on track with using the better notebooks. I have some that came in even before that one, and I thought, well, I wonder why I'm getting into this one. Well, I think it's because I know I'm not going to have the hand smearing or the extra ghosting. I just know this is going to be a good experience, so I guess I'm getting used to gobbling up the good paper. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Have you written on that Graphilo paper? It's fantastic. I don't, yeah, I can't be talked out of how fantastic it is. However, my wallet will not really like it, you know, because there's so many other things that I'm always, you know, sort of after, to be honest, you know. there's another Benu pen always, or something like that. But I think it's great to know about these and try them, and then really hone in on what is just as good or what works really well, you know, and because for writing, because I don't splat in all my notebooks. But if I had one of those notebooks for cataloging my favorite inks and being able to splatter and do whatever and not have show through, that would be fantastic. I think that's something to put on a wish list, and maybe channel money or Christmas birthday money, something like that, get that. So let me know what notebooks you're using, because I'm a real slow learner when it comes to, you know, listening to suggestions, and it seems like viewers know what I'll like before I ever get it on my radar. So you guys know me better than I know me, I think. And stay safe out there, and I'll see you on the next video, and I'll see you in the comment section. Bye for now.